Do you have a recipe for success when you're making your shakes? I can teach you the secrets to making shakes. Do you have a recipe for success when you're making your shakes? This is going to help you have a recipe for success when you're making shakes, especially in January and all throughout the year. So I'm showing you what I have on the table and on a chair because I'm trying to fit this all together so that I can teach you the secrets to making shakes. Now, some people buy shakes that are pre-made. But I like to buy things that I have already grown or that I've purchased organically. So I'm going to teach you all this. So let's get moving. I'm going to try to put this here and we're going to get started. Okay, so first, shakes. It is critical to add them into the other 3 videos that I did for you already. The first one was about the mind. The second one was about the body and your environment, setting up your environment. And the third one was about detoxing so that you can get ready, get your body ready. Now I'm going to give you some ammunition to actually put in the body based on what your body needs. So, and then at the end, I'm going to make a shake with this right in front of you. So I'm going to try to get that in there too. Okay, so let me move fast because there's a lot of ingredients on this table. An overview of why we started doing shakes. We started doing shakes because my son is autistic. And instead of just grabbing something that was pre-made and shoving it down his throat, we decided we are going to use things that are natural, that we grew, that we powdered up ourselves and stored, or we're going to find organic stuff out there and then get that powdered up. So we decided to make our own combination, and we do have to still use things that are out on the market. But we try to go more naturally as much as we can because that helps his body function better. The next thing is to remember, you are what you eat. So when I was younger, I used to eat Doritos all the time. Okay, guys, if you're liking what you're seeing so far in this video, don't forget to subscribe so that you do not miss out on future content. To also turn on your notifications because my body could tolerate and handle that processed food. And now that I'm older, my body cannot tolerate and process that food. It cannot do it. What it does is it bloats up because it is inflamed. It is inflamed from eating that food or any kind of processed food. That's just what I ate when I was younger. So remember that you are what you eat. So we try to grow our ingredients in our yard and we harvest them, we dry them, we process them here so that we can use them all year round. You can see on this jar, this is labeled 2022. Okay, so I've powdered this and it is literally from that long ago. So just giving you a heads up that this stuff can last. But we're going to go over the different types of shakes that I typically use. And I have some that I use for breakfast. I have some that I use for like a full meal. If I want to truly have a meal, I load it up with some extras. Okay. And then some that are just a snack. Okay. And then some that I use for bedtime, where if you're trying to detox the body. So these are some of the different things that I like to use. Now, I guess since I mentioned about detoxing the body, I'm going to start with this one first. So this is dandelion leaf. Okay. So, the dandelions that people see out in the yard and they think that these are weeds. They are not. And on a spiritual level, the weeds that you think are weeds that are coming near you in your yard are normally what your body needs. So just be aware of that. You know, that's something that I learned. But this is dandelion leaf. We brought it in, we cleaned it, we dried it, and then powdered it up. And how we powder everything right now is we either use a mixer or we stick it in the NutriBullet. We powder it up, and then we put it in this jar with, either an oxygen absorber or like a moisture absorber to pull out the moisture. Mostly moisture absorber in these. Okay, so for nighttime, I would take some milk thistle, because I'm not growing that right now, so I had to get something, from the store. This is very old, but I still pull it out of the capsule and dump it in here to make a shake, for nighttime, because at night your body detoxes and your liver cleans everything that you have done to it all day long. So I want to give it some help. So I'm going to give it dandelion and some milk thistle to help it out. And I flavor it up however I choose at that point. Try to stay with something light, less sugar, raw honey or something like that, just to have a quick little shake before bed. We're going to start with looking at my powders first. So this is broccoli and beet leaf powder, and beet leaf meaning the beets that are in the ground. Okay, the beets that are in the ground. What I do is when I pull them out, cut the leaves off, and then rinse them, clean them, and dry them. Okay, and people say, well, how do you clean your things that are coming from outside? I make a mixture of water and baking soda, and then I throw some white vinegar into the bowl, and then I just dip it in there, and you can hear it like fizzing and stuff, and I dip it in there after I rinse them first. Okay, so this is broccoli and beet leaf powder. This is beet skin, which has been in here for a long time as well. So this is the skin of the beet. Okay, and then this is spinach, and boy, spinach and I fight every year, but this year I'm going to win, because spinach has to be grown very, very early. Even when it's ice cold out, it's like, you can't grow spinach. Yes, you can. You've got to get that out there early, because if not, it bolts when it hits a little bit of heat, or the bugs terrify it. So spinach is a fight, but I won the first year. I lost the second 2 years. I'm going to win this year with spinach. So that way I can fill my jar the whole way back up, which I do have some in storage as well, because this is what we do is we take the leaves and we put them in like bags and save those as well. And then when we need some, we'll grind them up and put them in here. Okay. So that everything's not all out at once, and then it can get moisture in. Okay. So here's kale. So I just filled up the kale again because I was out there harvesting in November. And so this is kale. See how I changed that 2024? That's a kale. Here's some celery leaf powder. Okay, so here's another good one for helping to detox the body, so that you can add in to, a particular kind of shake. And then here's rainbow Swiss chard, another good protein. People just think of protein, in foods, in meats. That's what I'm trying to say, in meats. But proteins are in plants. If you take a look, at the apes and the gorillas and things like that, I'm like, they don't eat steak, but look at them. Oh my gosh. So you must understand that the proteins are in the plants. So let me go to the next thing. This is organic cabbage. So here's a bunch of cabbage that I have. Okay. And again, I just take the cabbage, rinse it off, chop it down, stick it on the dehydrator. And then after I dry it out, then I go ahead and, put it in the mixer or NutriBullet, and it's done. Okay. Maca root powder. My son has been going crazy over maca root powder, and the jar is empty. So now I've got to go into storage and find the maca root powder, because I have a ton of this. Cocoa powder. Here's some cocoa powder, actual cocoa powder, so I don't have to use like the sugared up version. This is plain cocoa powder that you can get, from a store, and put it in a glass jar to save it. Spirulina. I just dropped the bag. Spirulina. This is an item from the ocean that helps to detox metals and detox things from the body that are not helpful. So spirulina is another thing that I would add like a teaspoon into my shake. And then here's a trick that some people don't know. This is flaxseed, okay? So brown flaxseed, golden flaxseed, whatever you use. When you use flaxseed, what people do, sometimes they'll just try to use it like this, and you can't. It doesn't absorb well into the body. So what you need to do, take that golden flaxseed. See this? See, it looks like a powder. You take that, and then you put it in your mixer or in here, right? And now this flaxseed that looks like a seed turns into this. See that? Turns into a powder that your body can now absorb. Okay? So if you got anything from this video, that is super helpful. Okay. Also, chia seeds. Make sure, I'm not going to do that right now, but chia seeds people are just throwing in their drinks and things, and they're not getting the full benefit. What you need to do is you need to actually put the chia seeds in some water and let them soak for a couple of minutes so that they can start to swell up. And then once they do that, a second soaking would also help. And now they're fully open and ready to go. Then you can put them in your shakes, okay? So that's another hot tip that you just got today about chia seeds. And then MCT oil, okay? It's a powder from the coconut. Medium chain triglycerides. This is another thing that your body needs, and you take a little teaspoon of this and put it in your shake. Okay, and then look at this, bananas. Let me see if I can get some open here. Okay, so here are the bananas that I dehydrated. Okay, you can see that. Can you see that? My hands are dry right now. We are in like sub-zero temperatures out here. So here are the bananas. Okay. Oh, this smells so good. Oh my gosh. I have dehydrated a ton of bananas. I look for organic bananas that are not from a major company because that way I know like it's fair trade and it's coming from, back in the jungle somewhere, and it's not just harvested, with a bunch of other mess that they do, some of the big companies. So once I found the real good ones, then I dehydrated everything I could find. So we have these for, I don't know, like a decade worth. So those are the bananas that I put in. And then, I use water, filtered water, of course. And I use raw milk, but you can use any kind of milk you want to use. I'm going to go over here and grab this. This is a bonus item. Some people will say that it's helpful and some will say it's not. I just like the flavor of it. So I might put a little scoop of this in, peanut butter powder, just because. And then wheat germ. So wheat germ is another thing. 4 grams of plant protein. See that? And a good source of your vitamins. So this is why I'm doing this, to get all these vitamins and things in the body. And then, let me see if I can grab this one. I'm trying to fit all this into the video. And then here's another protein powder, that you can put in, and you can use any kind of, this is a plant-based, says 18 grams of protein. What I have found out is that depending on your body weight, this is why, I'm going to give you an overview, but this is going to be based on your body, based on what you have talked to your doctor about. Because as I always say in my videos, I talk to myself because I'm my own doctor. Once in a while, I'll confer with, my one doctor that I like, that, he's up on what's going on in the world as far as having good ingredients. Because at age 54, I have 0 medications. I have not taken any medications. My goal is to stay away from it forever. So it's odd to hear that. So that's why you see me doing all of this, so that my body gets what it needs. When it starts to feel off kilter or feel out of sync, then I will go to this, okay? Or I will stop eating for 3 days so that my body can begin to readjust, help itself, and I can see what's going on. Okay. I also look at the alkalinity in my body, if it's alkaline or if it's acidic, because if it's acidic, then it's going to allow disease to grow. If it's alkaline, it is not. So that's a whole other video, which I'm looking at the test strips. I can just grab one quick. But, this is a different, you can use test strips. Are you alkaline today? So you can tell, if you're acidic or if you're, alkaline. And if you want to know about that, just send me a message or whatever, and then I will send you information on that. Or maybe let me know if you want me to make a video about that. So when you make your shakes, you're looking to make a balance of, here's some hemp seeds that I forgot. You're looking to make a balance of protein and fiber. Like you can see in this one, it has like 4 grams of protein. And again, look at your body weight. Look at how much, right now you could just go to AI, for crying out loud, unless, you need to go to your doctor. And you could see for your body weight, how much protein per meal would you need in order to, have X amount of calories or whatever you want to do in that day. What I found out for me is if I can get 30 grams of protein with every meal, then that balances out my system. And, I also have some fiber mixed in with all of the different foods that I eat and fruits and things that I eat. So look at this. I'm going to get this up here. Look at chia seeds. If I can do this without knocking everything over. Okay. Chia seeds. Look at that. 10 grams of fiber. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Protein, 5 grams. So I'm like already almost there with what I need. 1 serving of chia seeds in with my 30 grams of protein, or 2 servings, and I'm good to go. So again, look at your ingredients, decide what works for you, and begin to formulate a plan with how you're going to make your shakes and how you're going to use your shakes. What I'm going to do is go over everything that I just talked about, because I know this was fast, but you have to go fast nowadays. The overview of this is, first, what are you going to store it in? What bottles are you going to use? Because once you get serious about making your shakes, it's going to look like this. You're going to have a station. You have a shake station, and dare anybody to touch it unless they're using it properly. You're going to have your shake station. So I decided to set that up. My son finally realized, hey, there's a shake station over there, my older son. So I'm going to go ahead and take all the maca powder. I'm like, wait a minute. So get your station set up. And then that way, you know exactly what you need to put in. You grab what you need and you just move from there. And then you get your ingredients. Oh, I forgot blackstrap molasses. I'm going to be talking about that in Saturday's video, because this is what I use to make water kefir. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the gut on Saturday, because the gut is basically your second brain. And if you feed it well, then you will be thinking well, doing well, and burning off those calories. But basically, in order to have a system, have a station, set up an area, pick an area and say, this is my area. I'm serious about what I'm doing. Because if you, trust me, if you don't set up a station or an area that you go make your shakes, you will not be making your shakes. That's a guarantee. I know that because that's what happened to me. I did not make my shakes because stuff was over here. This was in this cabinet. This was here. Everybody was touching it. I'm like, no, I'm making a station for my shakes. Okay. And then I know where to go get it. Now, my son, my older son, again, he was a football player, and he just, everything he does, he kind of rips things around and stuff like that. So we lost like one of the little things, knobs on the side here that helps it run. So I had to order new cups, and I am going to hide my tall cups. I'm going to hide my tall cups from him because these are my favorite, and I haven't had them in a while. And I finally got them for myself for Christmas. So I have 2 tall cups again, so you can see the difference. There's the tall and the smaller one. Okay. Put this back over here. But have all of your things in order so that you can't, you won't fail because everything is there. Because remember, chips are sitting there. They're so simple. It's so fast. It's so easy. Just grab them and start eating. You know, the cake is sitting there. It's so easy and so simple. But this takes effort, and you need to get your ingredients together to make that work for you. Okay? Get your bottles, get your ingredients, get your, things you want to sweeten it up with, and, get your teaspoon. This is a tablespoon for me. And then look up different kinds of shakes. If you send me a message or a request, I can, give you some combinations that you would, if you want. But right now, this is just a basic overview because your body is different from my body, and you need to figure out what is going to work for you. Okay? Because again, I always say, I'm not your doctor. I'm my doctor. So you need to check with your doctor on what works for your body, because I don't take any medications. So you need to figure out, if you're taking medications, what things work for you and what don't. So I'm going to quick make a shake here. All right. So I can get this video finished. So here's a small cup. Okay. And I'm going to let me get some kale. So I'm going to pull out the kale. Let me try to move everything back so you can see it, because I don't want to move that camera. Okay. So kale. Okay, so I'm going to get my tablespoon out, and I mix mine because I'm good with what I put in everything. Okay, so here's some kale. So I'm going to close that back up. And then what I do is I put my bananas in early because of the fact that I want them to kind of melt a little bit before the, see, here they go. Just you can kind of see in there. It's not that much. But I want them to melt a little bit in the water and the milk. So I am going to, because I didn't want to bring that out because they're in the fridge. So give me a second. Okay, so now here's some water. Okay, so for me, I kind of fill it. I'll show you, and everybody, again, you're going to have different tastes. So that's the water. That's our filtered water in the fridge. And then you can use any milk you choose. People like to use pasteurized because they feel it's safe. Before the cows, before they pasteurize the cow's milk, what did they do back in the days? So I go do what they do back in the days, which is raw. Because that's what I do. So you have to decide what works best for you and what's safest for you. Okay, this is what we do. So let me put some raw milk in here. Okay. And now, see that? How my bananas are down there? They're soaking while I'm finishing up. Okay. Let me, another thing, shut the refrigerator. Okay. So next, I'm going to grab some other things that I like in it. So you saw me put kale and bananas. Spirulina. Do not do a tablespoon of spirulina. That stuff is so strong. So I kind of do like a quarter of a tablespoon of spirulina in there. You can do more once you tolerate it because, it's straight out of the ocean. Very powerful. And some cocoa powder. Get that going here. A little bit of that. I kind of just tap that in because I don't want to, until I get another tablespoon, I don't want to do that. So put a little bit, and you don't need a lot because it's actual cocoa powder. So it's very concentrated. Okay, so you saw that. And then for me today, see this moringa leaf? Okay, so today, because I didn't grab my powder out, see this capsule? Then I'm going to open this up and drop it. Drop it in there. So I got some moringa leaf in. There we go. And then flaxseed. So here's some of my flaxseed that's already ground up. So I'm going to pull it out here and show you. Okay. So here is the flaxseed. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. Here we go. And then for me, I usually pick 2 or 3 of these ingredients to put in with my bananas, water, and milk. So I may pick, spinach and kale and then spirulina. I always use spirulina. So I may put, let's see, Swiss chard and cabbage. But I usually pick 2 or 3 of those ingredients to put in. That's how I do it. Again, you got to see what works for your body. And then I figure out, now what do I want to taste? How do I want to sweeten it up? So here is blackstrap molasses. Let me slide this over a little bit. Here's blackstrap molasses. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And then I don't measure this. I just kind of go like, you're going to see it. So here we go. Whoop. Okay. And then, that tastes good. Okay, so that's my flavoring in there. And then if you want to add a little sweetener, you can add some honey in. But remember, your bananas are down the bottom sweetening it up as well. So you have a shake right here, ready to go. You have a lot of protein. You have some fiber, from the plants. And you have some good ingredients from the milk, because the cows eat the grass that we cannot process. So we're getting, the good ingredients from the milk, which is why I like to drink it raw. But again, that's what I do. You do what works best for you and what you think is safe. And, because when we do these videos, we're teaching you what we do. And, you have to decide what works for your body, because each of our risk level is different. So this is what works for my body. Okay. But this gives you an overview of what I do here. And it is, I have so many more jars, but I can't fit them on the table. So until we move and get our big house again, I need room. And then just, before I get out of here, I'm just going to show you a couple of things I did bring up here. This is crystallized ginger slices. So if you need a sugar snack as you're going through this, there's sugar on this ginger, and the ginger it'll kick your butt. So this is, a nice snack to have to get away from the sugars. It'll help you a little bit, because it does have sugar in it, but it's ginger. So it's, kind of balances out. And then here's some chickpeas. Okay. Chickpeas. So you have that. And then the MCT powder, I'm going to put this in my shake, and when I go grab another teaspoon, but I don't want to keep going away from the camera. So I'm going to put this in, and I'm also going to grab a little bit of peanut butter powder, because that's something that I like as well, just to get a taste. And then I make one for my son. So we both get one, right? And then I mix them up. And they're good to go. So now it's ready, right? It's ready for me to mix up until I put my MCT in when I'm done with the video. And we're ready to go. So that's it. This is how you eat this, right? Instead of all the chips. And, we have one little snack bin that has some stuff in for the kids if they want it down at the bottom. I don't know if I can show you. It's at the bottom of the shelf, right? They have one little snack bin. And if they have a craving, they can run down there and find something in there. But this is our homemade shake secrets. These are it. This is what we do. And in order to be successful in setting yourself up for 2025 and thriving with your health goals and your body goals, you need to know some of this. All of this is obviously not for you, but some of this is, and it can help you to thrive and beat that, you're out there exercising or you're not, because I don't exercise until I get this in order first. This is in order. My gut's in order. My head's in order. My clothes are in order. My mind is in order. And guess what? Then I am getting straightened out in my body after that. That's when I start doing, my walking, my different kinds of light workouts, because I know that once you get this in order and your gut's in order, you don't have to go absolute crazy on workouts. But again, you have to go through all the other videos first so you can understand why I'm saying that. Okay. So you are what you eat. Make your shakes. You can do this Coming up for Saturday, we're going to talk about feeding the gut properly, and I'm going to show you kefir. So before I head out, I'm going to show you kefir, okay, because I'm getting ready to strain this. So kefir is very helpful for the liver and for the gut and for the body. So thank you guys for coming. I will see you on Saturday. Let's finish strong. Now that we are finished with this video, don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to hit your like so that you do not miss out on future content, and help others learn what you have learned today in this video. I'll see you again soon.